stronger and more militant union that is focused on bringing a voice to the American worker. From Amazon to DHL to taking on Chedraui Spartan Final. He doesn't shy away from bullies. He actually takes them directly on. Please give it up for our General President, Sean O'Brien.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today. The only bully I shy away from is my beautiful 76-year-old mother. Let's hear it for the sisters in the audience. Look, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. I want to thank our fellow executive board members. You are well represented in our administration, and I know you are well represented in 630 with Lou at the helm, so give Lou a big shout out. Now look, I love coming to California, I love coming to LA, and I think they consider this Southern California, and nothing makes me feel at home than when I see emotions. And I see emotions when the two brothers got to mix it up on the lawn there. I felt like I was at Thanksgiving dinner. But the one thing that's important is we can have our disagreements, we can have our fights, but we have to really look at who the enemy is. And the enemy is not the brothers and sisters here today. The enemy is this white-collar crime syndicate known as Dumb and Dumber, Smart and Final. And that is who we need to focus our energy and emotions on. This is the fight that they chose. This is a fight that they want. And this is a fight that we're going to bring to them hard and fast. Now remember, they chose us. We didn't choose them. And the one thing that they have to be reminded of, we may not have the resources that they have. Our bottom line of our finances may not look as big as theirs. But the one thing we have, and you have, brothers and sisters, 1.3 million members nationwide, Canada, behind you, fighting every single day. And more importantly, we have the courage and conviction to take on this fight. Now listen, taking on a fight is not always easy. But you know, I read somewhere, the difference that separates a hero and a coward is that a hero and a coward are equally as scared going into battle because you don't know the end result. What separates a hero from the coward is that a hero is willing to do whatever it takes to come out of that battle victorious, and I know you are willing to do what it takes to win. Now, we've had many battles. We've had many battles over 24 months. We've had many people, whether it's Wall Street, whether it's politicians, whether it's corporations, telling us that we didn't have the ability to fight and win. Well, it didn't work out too good for that UPS, did they? When we fought and won, we mobilized 340,000 members, one vision, one mission to get the best contract, and we were victorious selling a $30 billion contract because of the courage and conviction of rank and file members. They said we couldn't do it at DHL. We did it at DHL. Why? Because we had the support of the members, we have the support of the general public, but more importantly, we were not afraid to fight. They said we couldn't do it at Cisco. They said we couldn't do it at US Food. And we got to protect it with everything we've got. And you know, the good thing for me, as being general president, I get to go out and fight every single day. I got a burning desire in my stomach every single day to fight corporate, greedy corporations, to hold crooked politicians accountable, but more importantly, the privilege to represent the most important people. That's the men and women that go to work every day and make these corporations the billion-dollar corporations they are. It's time they understand who makes them the success. It's not Wall Street. It's not these crooked politicians they try and buy out. It's the men and women on Main Street that go in every single day. Look what you did during the pandemic. During the pandemic, that was the most uncertain time in this country. And I guarantee you, like everybody else, this company made record profits. They made record profits. They called you heroes. They called you essential workers. They called you heroes of the nation. You went to work with total disregard for your health, the health and safety of your family, and in some cases, our members, your co-workers, lost their lives servicing this white-collar crime syndicate. Well, now it's here to tell you, we are still heroes. They are zeros. Yeah. And the reality of what's going to happen here is I know they're trying to run. They're trying to run, they're trying to hide. And if those scabs, and I'll call them scabs, want to go to work, $22 an hour, good luck to you, but I'm going to tell you, you can run, but you can't hide. We will follow you, we will hunt you down, we will track you down. The one thing that we do have right now going for us, we've got solidarity. We've got a great leader in the warehouse division, Tom Erickson. Where are you, Tom? Who has done a tremendous job in this industry. And as a result of the work, and we're not shy when it comes to fighting with the Albertsons of the world, the Krogers of the world, the Royal Ahols of the world, the grocery industry in general. If we do not win this fight, we're going to deteriorate in standards that we've established over 24 months. Those standards need to be held high, need to be protected, preserved, and improved whenever we can. And I am confident, and I know that the General Secretary Treasurer behind me will echo the same support. See, the good thing for me is I get to go around and help workers, talk to workers. We get to go around negotiating contracts. In my role as a General President, I can make promises, which we deliver on all the time, but I make promises to make certain that no Teamster will be left behind, no Teamster will sacrifice as a result of not having the finances to finance this fight. And we will finance this fight. See, I just made a promise. He's just going to find a way to pay for it, right? So we're in good shape. We're in good shape. But the one thing we have to focus on is not losing faith in the organization. We're a very sophisticated organization, and we are going to make certain that we get you the contract you deserve and then continue to organize Dumb and Dumber as they move forward. Now, the other thing we need to focus on is leveraging political influence. Because remember, we write checks every month, and I'm not suggesting every politician's crooked, but you remember, every politician shows up for a photo op. Every politician shows up to kiss babies. Well, I want politicians showing up to do the right thing that allow them the privilege to serve the communities they serve. They need to be engaged in this fight. They need to put resources in, and they need to have some sweat equity, and they need to make the call to this company to ensure that they do the right thing. And if they don't do the right thing, we need to make it as hard as possible for them to operate in the greatest nation in the world, that's the United States. We do not want bad employers. We do not want bad employers making money off good American workers. So now I got a message for them and everybody else, whether it's a corporation or a politician. When you take on the Teamsters Union and you want to take on the fight, put your helmets on, buckle your chin straps. It's a full contact sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General President Sean O'Brien. Real quick, folks, I got several other people here that are going to speak, but we want to get them real quick up here and take a quick picture before we get them. So, General President, we also have our Attorney General for the state of California, Rob Bonta. Please give him a round of applause. Also, our Assembly Member for the 44th District, Chris Holden. Please give him a round of applause. Also, one of the strongest females in labor, our Secretary Treasurer for the California Federation, first woman to lead at the helm, Lorena Gonzalez. Give her a round of applause, guys. And also, as our President said, our General Secretary, who's also paying the bill for everybody, Fred Zuckerman. Please give him a round of applause. If you don't mind, come on up real quick. Our brothers represent the largest and strongest joint council in our international, representing 23 Teamster local unions who represent over 200,000 members in Southern California, in Southern Nevada, Guam, Saipan, and Hawaii. Please give it up to our president of our Joint Council 42, Chris Griswold.
Thank you, Luke. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I first want to thank General President Sean O'Brien, General Secretary Treasurer Zuckerman. They come out, they stand with us. Every time we have a fight, we know they've got our back. Let's give them a hand again. Look, when I got here, I was talking to a few smart final workers, and I'm trying to make sure I pronounce Chedraui right. Well, he told me it was Chedraui. So that's how we'll refer to them from now on. Look we've been in this fight before. We don't walk away from fights. We run into fires. That's what the Teamsters do, and that's what we're going to do now. Like Lou said, 23 locals, 200,000 Teamsters stand with the Smart and Final workers. We're not going to stop till we win this. Carlos has to figure that out. He isn't in Mexico. This is America. We have laws, and we're going to hold him to them. He doesn't want to support the laws, we'll take him down. And that's what we have to do. But we can't do it without every one of you. You know, we're going to continue having rallies. We're going to continue going out to the stores. We need all the support of all Teamsters out in front. They have to know we're not going away. We have to talk to our members. We have to talk to our members. Boycott Smart and Final. Not just Teamsters, but the whole labor movement has to support this. Because they're right. We don't win this, they're going to keep going and going and going, and we are not going to lose. Like I said, Teamsters don't run from fights, we run to fights. So stand together, do whatever you can with these brothers and sisters. When you get the call to show up at a store, please, let's rally our members, let's rally our staff, let's rally other locals, other unions to stand with us. We all stand together, we win together. God bless the workers of Smart and Final. Thank you.
Thank you, President Chris Griswold. We appreciate you. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Who are we? Teamsters. Who are we? Teamsters. All right, brothers and sisters. Our next guest is a former legislator that has spent her career fighting to protect the American worker and has always stood there by labor. She took the fight on behalf of all the workers that were being misclassified by passing AB 5. She's the first woman to serve as the principal officer of the California Federation, representing more than 1,300 unions, representing over 2.3 million union members in this great state of California. Our sister is here to stand with these Smart and Final workers. Give a round of applause to our sister, Lorena Gonzalez.
Thank you, brother. I think he missed the most important part. I'm also a 20-year Teamster. So, brothers and sisters, I can't believe we're here again with another asshole employer who, you know, I've thought about this, and we gotta be careful how we talk about shit, but you know, we have enough problem with American employers breaking the fucking law. I'll tell you something, I have nothing against an employer who wants to come here from Mexico. My father came to this country from Mexico. He came here to work, and he worked hard. And if you listen to him, one of the reasons he came here is because how workers are treated in Mexico. The laws are different. The unions aren't strong. We don't have the same protections. So he came here to make a better life for his family because he was expected to abide by our laws, to work hard, to do his part. The last thing we need is a Mexican employer coming here and violating American laws with American workers. So I'm happy for them to take their $1 billion and go back to Mexico, quite frankly.
Get the fuck out!
Get the fuck out, exactly. I know about the grocery worker retention laws, because I wrote the first one. So if you're going to tell me that I don't know, and my brother Chris Holden's going to talk about he updated my law so that to make sure it applied to Smart and Final workers. But we knew that this is the kind of shit we're trying to guard against. I want you to know that the 2.3 million union members, everything from janitors and pilots and flight attendants and teachers and firefighters, they're going to stand with you shoulder to shoulder until we win this battle, not the war, because we got a big war on our hands. But this is a battle that, as you have heard, is paramount to ensuring we win the war. We're ready to go to war, and the entire California labor movement is there with you. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Let's go fucking win.
Let's hear it for our years. He's also on the negotiating committee, and he has dedicated his life to making sure that he provided a service to this company. And now when it really comes time for the company to support him and his family, they give him a boot in the back. All right, give it a round of applause for our brother Joe Logano. He's here to share his story with you.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. All right, there's my people out there. I like it. Final. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate the support. It really makes me feel good to be a Teamster, to show that you guys come out, you don't know us, but you know that we're fellow Teamsters and you're here to help us in our fight. We really need it and appreciate it, so thank you. All right, that's enough, I'm getting old. All right, good morning, Teamsters. Morning. All right, my name is Joe Logano, and I've worked at Smart and Final Distribution Center for over 33 years. I've worked through the LA riots and most recently the COVID pandemic, during which time Chedraui made billions of dollars as we dedicated ourselves to the company and community to keep food on the shelves during this extremely uncertain time. Our dedication to our company is seldom seen nowadays, with many of our employees having 20 or 30 years plus of dedicated service. It's truly been a great company to work for and raise my family, and my son Chris is out here, who also worked for Smart and Final a few years ago. Thank you, Chris, for being here. He'll attest we had a good life working for Smart and Final. Smart and Final was bought by a company based in Mexico called Chedraui. The first year or so, everything remained status quo until our two DCs, Commerce and Riverside, decided to hold an election early last year, and we overwhelmingly voted the Teamsters Local 630 to be our legal representatives. Very shortly after unionizing, we were all read a letter from Chedraui's CEO, Carlos Smith, in which he boasted about the company's plans for the future. The tremendous growth, brand new distribution center, and he finished the letter off with this feel-good letter with, and you will all be terminated. To show my age, what you talk about, Willis? After all the years of sacrifice and dedication, we're just being tossed out like trash. Looking back, I guess I'm not that surprised, because during our campaign, CEO Carlos Smith actually told our Riverside brothers, there's no way I'm allowing the union into the new facility. I guess he doesn't know about the laws here. Based on that, and over a year of contract negotiations of very little progress, it's clear to anyone that Chedraui has no intent in having over 600 of their trained and experienced workers coming along for this next chapter of Smart and Final. Give me 1 second. Belt's getting dry. That's clear. Okay, it's also clear that Chedraui has completely different business model than Smart and Final. They've gutted our corporate folks right behind us in this building. Now they're gutting the two DCs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start gutting the stores of those employees. Chedraui is coincidentally having a job fair today for new hires in the warehouse, open to the public, starting at $22 all the way up to $24. I fucking made $24 18 years ago. What are they talking about? Chedraui knows its current workforce cannot survive on the poverty level wages they are offering us. They are clearly telling us to fuck off and we don't want you. What's really going on here is this. They want to run the new warehouse like they run their other DC at El Super. The plan, fire us all, replace us with workers that are eager to take poverty wages. This is the business model of El Super, and this is what they're trying to do to us. Currently, Chedraui is in violation of Assembly Bill 647, the Grocery Workers Retention Act. This law protects grocery workers by mandating that Chedraui offer their new job to the existing workforce by seniority. Chedraui has taken the stand that this law does not apply to them. Hence, we are here again. This battle is much greater than just us. This could potentially affect all of you that are here in the food industry and beyond. If Chedraui is successful in illegally ousting out the union and allowed to continue to violate our labor laws in this country, then they're going to set the blueprint for other companies to follow and how to replace their well-compensated union employees with replacement workforce that will be happy to take your job for pennies on the dollar. We're asking for help to stop the destruction of the middle class. One second. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Give it up for Joe. I know he's a little nervous, but it's all good. It's all good. It's hard, you know, it's very hard for all these Teamster brothers that dedicated 30, 40 years, and all of a sudden, you get a boot. That's what you get. You get a boot. That's the thanks you get. So these gentlemen go to work every day knowing that that boot's coming. So what do we think about that? Hell no!
Hell no.
All right, brother.
He just got too
Last
much
page.
to say.
All right, so we're asking for help from our elected officials to enforce our current laws and protect American jobs. Chedraui needs to be told that what you do in Mexico is not going to be allowed here in the United States. We need help from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, President Mr. Sean O'Brien, to lead this fight against Chedraui. And we need help from all of you. Educate yourselves, get involved, and band together as one. There's nothing that can stop us, because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here.
All right, brothers, give it up for Joe Logano. As our president stated, we need people that stand with workers, okay? We need people in office that are gonna be there to support workers. This next speaker literally takes the fight to these corporate bullies. As a state assembly member, he took on powerful interest in advanced systemic change for all Californians, holding corporations accountable and standing up for workers. He comes from a long tradition of activism championing for workers. As our Attorney General, he is leading the fight directly to these corporations who seek only to monopolize the grocery industry, creating food deserts. Earlier this year, he joined the Federal Trade Commission and a bipartisan coalition of states, filing lawsuits that challenge the proposed merger of Kroger and Albertsons. This merger presents a significant risk to thousands of Americans in middle-class union jobs, reducing the competition that's going to create higher prices for all Americans. Okay, we need the type of leadership in Sacramento that is going to fight for Californians. Please give a round of applause for our California Attorney General, Rob Bonta.
Thank you, Lou. Good afternoon, Teamsters. Is labor in the house? Is union power in the house? Is worker power in the house? Are the Teamsters in the house? Yeah, you are. I feel it. I love it. I'm honored to be here with you. What a way to start my day. Let me just say thank you for all you're doing for your members, for fighting for their future, for fighting for fair wages and fair working conditions, for good jobs and for good opportunities for working people. When we fight, we win. We know that unions built the middle class, unions built America, unions built California, and unions will build our future. So thank you. I know a little bit about unions. I grew up in a union household and with activists in the labor movement. My mom was part of the Delano grape strike of 1965, one of the original strikes that launched the farm worker movement. And then my parents and I lived in the headquarters of the United Farm Workers of America. My parents were organizers fighting for a fair contract for the people who were feeding our state, feeding our nation. They fought for fair and safe working conditions. And then I grew up in a union household. a union, SEIU 1000, that my parents were in for over 50 years combined. It allowed them to have a living wage, to have health care when our family members were sick or hurt. It allowed my parents to retire with dignity, and allowed them to have a say in the workplace, and to send their 3 kids to college, to buy a home, to live their dreams in the middle class. I'm proud and honored that I got to be raised in a union household, and I know unions make people's lives better. So I have brought that spirit, that experience, that lived experience to my work as your California Attorney General. We are fighting against misclassification. We are fighting against the underground economy. We're fighting against wage theft, and we're fighting for workers, for unions. And so let me be absolutely clear. I support the Teamsters' right to organize and to bargain in good faith and get to and earn a fair contract. You deserve it. I will fight for you. Those are your rights.
Teamster power! Teamster power! Teamster power!